by almost 2%. And finally, Argus upgrading Raytheon to a buy, $100 price target. The analyst highlighting a favorable business mix and attractive valuation. That stock at 88.35, advancing by 1.32%. Coming up, the clampdown in China sparking confusion over Didi. And later, Jefferies analyst Brent Thill joining us to break down Facebook's quarterly results. Still to come from New York, this is Bloomberg.
Hello, can you guys hear me? Yep, I think you guys can hear me. Okay, so right now, once again, we are live. Tonight we're gonna trade Nasdaq again. And those of you who have been following me for quite a while, you know that yesterday we got a huge win. Right, and let's see, today, can we get another huge win? Okay, if you haven't seen the video, you can go and see yesterday's video. It's in my featured video in my channel, and if you haven't already,
Bloomberg
can
has
you click on
enhanced
to
search on the
subscribe us,
to deliver
because
what
we
you
always
need
do
when
such
you
live
need it.
trading.
Now,
Right?
you
Sometimes we
can simply
win,
type
sometimes we
phrases
lose.
in
We
everyday
really don't
English
know how
in
the market
command
goes.
line.
Okay? I'm not
Compare
here to tell you that
financials.
trading is a sure win.
Find
I'm not
people.
here to tell you that
Analyze markets.
whenever I trade, I
You
always
can enter
win.
phrases
So tonight maybe we will
or
lose.
ask questions.
Tonight maybe
What
we
do
will
you
win.
want to know today?
I'm not sure. Okay?
Ask a
So
question
you just
or
follow the
visit
market flow.
SearchGo to find answers now.
The curtain will rise again. Broadway's returning June.
Have you bought tickets?
He's busted out.
You've got more time here.
Okay, so
These are
probably
up.
tonight's goal we will aim
Bloomberg
for
surveillance weekday mornings on Bloomberg
let's say
television
we
and radio.
aim for $300.
Every Friday
Okay,
with 30 minutes
so
dedicated to
let's
fixed
see,
income. I'm Jonathan Ferro.
add
This
tax.
is Bloomberg Real Yield.
Here. See tax. Goal is to
23 seconds away from the opening bow this Thursday morning.
Okay,
Good
here we go,
morning
here we
to you
go.
all. Let's work through some price action together. Your equity market looks like this on the
Okay.
S&P 500. Up 10,
It's
advancing
moving,
0.2
it's
of 1%.
moving.
Clear outperformance for the small caps. The Russell 2000
Okay.
up by 0.8 of 1% this morning. The Nasdaq just with a touch of underperformance on the Nasdaq right now.
Just wait a
Negative
while.
27 and down 0.2 of 1%. That's the opening bow. Switch on the board and get
Looks
to the bond
bullish, huh?
market. Yields look a little something like this on 10s. 127.26. Yields are higher by 3 or 4 basis
by
points.
more.
On the surface of things, that GDP report disappointed. Beneath the surface, it's an inventory story, and we should get some positive payback in the coming quarters.
some
Look
more.
out for that conversation through the market day. In the FX market, euro stronger, approaching 119 again, 118.79, up by 1/3 of 1%, and
Nice.
crude 72.88, up by 7/10
Buy
of
one more.
1%. From New York, that's the cross-asset price action at the market desk with your movers. Here's Abby.
John, beneath that relatively benign surface for U.S. stocks, let's take a look at what's moving. First up, Facebook shares are down. This after the company put up a very strong second quarter. They beat both top and bottom line estimates. They also had fantastic revenue growth, up 56%, driven by pricing up 47%. However, they are warning that growth may decelerate in the coming quarter, so you can see the stock down 2.7%, and the deceleration may have something to do with Apple's privacy policy.
Okay,
Taking
price
a look where we have green
rejection.
for
Come
a
on,
second day
price
gains for the
rejection
Chinese
from the
ADRs. You
bottom.
can see Didi in particular up 17.4% on the report.
Let's see
but
if
the
we can
company
go
is
for
considering
one more
taking
buy.
itself private, going private to satisfy Beijing and also to help out
Okay, I'll go
investors,
for one
certainly
more buy.
helping out investors and that entire space that has been down. China tech down 50% recently, so 2 up days. Small, but maybe a start of something. And then finally, rounding it out with the reflation
Still no
trade, we
direction
have
for
both
the
banks
market.
and energy
Okay,
higher.
price
You noted that
rejection.
10-year yield up 3 basis
Price
points. The yield
rejection.
curve steepening, oil up.
Yep.
That means reflation is
Okay,
on, at
buyers,
least
sellers,
today.
buyers,
Abby, thank you.
sellers.
About 2 minutes in, energy
Let's see
indeed
who
top of the
win
pile,
this
advancing
game
by
tonight.
1.46%. On the S&P 500,
Okay,
we
bulls
advanced about a
coming
third of
in, bulls
1%.
coming
Bottom
in.
of the pile, information technology, basically
It's so
unchanged on the
amazing looking at the
session.
chart,
Communication
how it
services
moves.
down by almost a half
Right,
of 1%.
every night it's
the
like a battle
confusion
between
around
the bulls
Didi
and
has
the
been
bears.
phenomenal. Shares
So,
surging following a Wall
looks like the
Street
bulls
Journal
are winning.
report unveiling
Okay.
some kind of talks of going
Good
private.
for them.
The
Congratulations.
company quickly denying the report and issuing a statement writing the following, quote,
Okay.
the company affirms
Let's
that
go.
the report is not true.
Looks
The company
nice.
is fully
Come on,
cooperating with the
maintain.
relevant government
I
authorities
shall just
in
wait
China
for you to
in
break
the
this area
cybersecurity
before I
review
decide on
of
another
the company.
trade.
For more, working through this is Bloomberg's Katie Lyons. Hey,
Okay.
Katie.
Hey, John, I wish I had clear answers for
Can
you,
you
but I would
break
just
that
remind you
level
that this company has only been
of
public in the U.S.
1530,
for
okay?
a month now, and already there is confusion swirling about a
Are you gonna
possible
move up? Are you gonna
privatization.
move up?
Granted, since this Chinese ride-hailing company listed in the U.S. in June, it pretty
Okay,
much has immediately faced
maintain.
trouble. Beijing announcing a probe into it, removing its services from Chinese
Okay.
app stores, and Bloomberg reported last week that
Nope.
regulators were
Price
considering
rejected
serious
once
penalties
again,
for it,
maybe? I don't
including
know.
forcing it to
See if
delist.
can
That had the shares
remain
down
higher.
36% from its IPO
Oh.
to today. And then, of course, today's
Okay.
rumors lifted the stock nearly 50%
Price is
in pre-market
testing
trading,
higher
and
and
about
higher,
19%
so
higher
it's a
after the
clear
company's
sign
denial
that
of that
it may move
report. Of course, it's
upwards
not just Didi that has been
tonight.
wrapped up in this Chinese crackdown, John. It has spread all over
Just see
the
this
tech
area,
complex,
what
from
is he
food
gonna
delivery
do
to
in this
education companies.
candlestick?
And that has really punished the Hang Seng Tech
Okay,
Index
looks like
recently.
here
It's
there's
down 36% from its peak in February.
there's a
Even with the
room-
rebound we have seen
there's a lot of
in the last
sellers
two
over
sessions,
here,
that
maybe?
index rose
Oh,
actually
looks like-
8% overnight. And in part, that was due
Okay,
to steps
looks
from
like the
China
buyers
to calm the market. A report that Beijing
are
will
winning
allow
the
local
sellers
companies
at
to
this
go public
area.
in the U.S. still. That gave a lift to stocks listed
Okay,
stateside
you see it tested
in
again
Asian
higher.
trading. The likes of
So
JD.com,
just
Baidu,
wait.
Alibaba, all
Everything
surging
is not
double
confirmed
digits
until
in
there's
the
a
Asian
huge
session overnight.
movement.
And as Abigail mentioned before, those ADRs also in positive territory at the U.S. opening bell, John.
Katie, thank you. It's called the Plunge Protection Team for a reason. Chinese authorities convening with investment banks in some kind of attempt to soothe markets amid Beijing's crackdown in the private
Okay,
education
price, are you
industry and
gonna
beyond. We
maintain
caught up
higher
with
or are you
BNY
gonna
Mellon's
come
Jeff
down?
Yu on this. Take a listen.
I think China is learning as well, like any regulator. This is a new environment for China. They've realized how invested in the international community is in certain sectors, right? So again, education and being one of them. Of course, they don't want to damage sentiment either. They will learn as well from this, and as future sectors go by, maybe they'll do it differently.
Still with us for some final thoughts, I'm pleased to say. So Badger Ajapa, David Kelly
chill
and
and
Sean
wait,
Snyder.
chill
And
and
guys, don't
wait.
worry. Always try and protect you. Not going to get
Some
you
of
in any
you-
trouble
you
talking
might
about
already
single
chose to
names,
exit
Chinese
now,
tech firms like
because we
Didi
are
and the
like
rest. But
earning like
David, I do
80
want
bucks
to talk
already,
about
but I'm
the
just
risk
gonna
of
wait a bit
contagion
longer
here, the transmission mechanism
because I'm
from
on a
China
buying
and any kind of
bias.
slowdown
Okay,
there
break.
into the US
Okay,
economy and beyond.
okay.
How are you
Maybe
thinking
I can
about
just
these
enter
issues
one more
at
buy
the moment,
here.
David?
I don't think there's that serious
Okay,
a threat. I mean,
okay.
I think there are real questions
It's
about
quite confirmed
valuations
that it
of
broke
some,
out.
mega cap
Now,
stocks
the
in the
next
United
question
States.
that pops
But
up in
the
my
China
whether is
issue
this a
really
fake
about
breakout?
Chinese nationalism and the
is
control
this
of
a
the Chinese
false
Communist
breakout?
Party over
Right.
various things that
So
go
just
on in China,
monitor,
and how much
look
they
at
want to
our
exert that control,
profits.
and what price are they willing to pay in
100
terms
plus,
of
goal
stock
is
market
300
performance
tonight.
and financial performance. And we seem to swing.
Okay.
They seem to be swinging towards the
come
side of
on,
more
yes,
regulation,
pushing
and they're willing
higher.
to take a financial hit, and
Maybe
then
we can
the
look
financial hit
at
occurs, and then they sort of swing back a bit.
15080
But I think that's really
level.
a China story. I think
Okay.
Chinese growth is still
Now,
solid.
what is he
More
doing
than
at
that,
this
you know,
area?
we've got
Oh,
Chinese
there's another
vaccinations rising very rapidly.
another
Vaccinations are
resistance
rising
area.
rapidly around the
So
world. So I don't
zoom out
think
a
it
bit.
changes the global
So he's
growth
currently at another
trajectory,
resistance
and
area.
therefore I don't think
So
it really
that's why
has
you
a big
see that
effect on
movement.
U.S. economic growth or
Right,
our
you
domestic
see the
story.
So Badger, how would you
movement
frame
here.
things?
Right, this is another
Yeah,
resistance
so what
area.
I'm looking at
So let's see
is
if it
the
can break out.
RRR cut
That's
that
why there's
came in the
a
last
bit
month,
of
which I
movement
think
around
caught
here.
most
A
market
bit
participants
rejecting,
by surprise.
fighting. You can see
You know,
battling.
credit conditions
Right.
are
Oh, okay.
starting to tighten,
Move
and you're
higher
seeing some
once
easing
again.
of monetary policy to accommodate for those tightening credit conditions. sanctions. I don't think it's worrisome, but typically when you start to
Okay,
see
okay,
credit
looks like it's
conditions in
going
China
our way.
tighten, you tend to see that the world
What are you
follows with a
doing,
one-year lag.
bulls?
So That's what I'm looking at. I think
Looks
it's
like
still
the
too
bulls are winning the
early to
market.
draw any conclusions. The fact that they're
Okay.
proactively easing
Now
policy
where's my
is a
next level?
positive,
Check it out. Zoom out.
and that should,
Okay, next
help
level should be this area
global
around
growth,
15072
What about
area.
you, Sean? A couple of ways to think about
So,
this.
just
Some
gonna
people are
be
exposed to
mindful
these
for
stories
that.
via a basket of stocks and index.
Okay,
And think
reaching
about
our
how
goal
it bleeds
soon.
through Asian credit and back out to broader markets too. How would you frame things, Sean?
So listen, I think what happens in China does matter to the world, but I do think the global economy is going to continue to recover. When I think of China, there's so many different nuances going on right now. So to me, rather than walking through all the details, I actually think it argues for active management versus kind of passive here, because there are so many details going on.
A little bit.
And I will say that, if we look at past sell-offs of the Chinese market, 30% sell-offs, in the next 12 to 18 months, you tend to get double-digit returns.
So how much I closed
So,
already?
maybe it's a bit of a contrarian
47
call,
plus
but I do
42,
think we've
that's
seen a sharp sell-off
89,
there.
89 plus
And I actually
36,
think
that's
it
like
might make sense
89,
to add some exposure
120.
there. But again,
Okay,
maybe
so
through
let's see
active
if this trade
management.
can
Well, let's
get
get to
me
another
300. I'll
contrarian
go.
call.
So
David Kelly, your
180.
call. Stocks over bonds.
Looking at 180
consensus.
profit here.
Value over growth. Fairly consensus at the start of the year. That's changed up over the last couple of months. Here's the one for me. International over US. David Kelly, help me understand that a little bit more.
Okay.
Well, of course, it's a long time coming, but
Maybe
the
at
valuation story, I've never
1072
seen it more
area, I will
compelling.
exit
I
the
was
trade
looking
already.
at the ratio of
Okay, so
S&P,
maybe
the
tonight
ratio
we
of
didn't
PE
hit
ratios
our
for
target
the,
profit of 300
equity
bucks.
ex-US, everything outside
Okay,
the United
but I
States, the
think
S&P 500.
close to that is good.
The rest of the world is cheap,
Okay, if
but
this
it's
hits
2.5
180, then
standard
we are in.
deviations cheap. It's
Okay, looks like
extraordinarily cheap.
this.
So,
I'm gonna
but this is a valuation call. I mean,
Okay,
unless
so
we're
that's
living
it
in
for
different
tonight.
planets
So
here,
let's
there's
see
no
how
way
much I
international
win
stocks should be this
for
cheap relative to
today.
US stocks. And that's
So
why I wouldn't
that's,
want to be underweight
let me bring
international.
up
I
my
would want to be overweight
calculator.
international, particularly
Calculator.
if you believe in a
Okay.
cyclical rebound restarting
we
here
got
around the world.
36.85
Europe
plus
and Japan are much more
42.65 plus
cyclical in terms of the secular
47.20
distribution of their
plus
markets in the United States is, or
plus
indeed China is.
61.92
So I think that you really have to look at Europe and Japan as having a big opportunity
260
in terms of
bucks
cyclical rebound,
within
and the valuations are
minutes.
just compelling here.
I think
David, to
that's
what
quite
extent
good.
do you think that
Can
cyclicality
cover
embedded in the index for
the whole
Europe
day,
compared to the United States
right?
actually goes some way to
It's a good
explain
day,
the valuation
right?
gap?
So if you
I
have
think it's
not
some of that,
already,
but also
please
we're,
like
you know,
and
we're
share this
stock market
video.
investors for the world.
Subscribe
I mean,
to
it's not-
us
it's
if
not
you
just
enjoy
that
this live
56 or
trading.
57% of stock market
And
capitalization
we'll do it again
in the world
tomorrow.
is in the United States.
Right?
That's where
So
the stock
you can join
investors are. I
us
think
here
US investors
tomorrow
are
at
scared
9:25
about
p.m.
investing
GMT
around
plus
the world
8,
for lots
right,
of reasons.
for live
But I think
trading
that fear
session.
will diminish
So
over time
subscribe
as the
us to
pandemic
get
dies down
notification
around
and
the
stuff
world.
like that.
Sean, what about
Right?
you? International
More
over
details
US. Where are you on
of
that
what
argument?
our community has, what signals do we provide, and
We
stuff
actually
like
just
that.
increased our allocation.
The
Our global
description
investment committee
has
increased
the
its
various
allocation
links that
to
you can
US
click
large cap
and
stocks.
join our community.
And the reason we did
Okay?
that is we actually
So
think that
goodbye.
if
Have
we
a great
do have some issues
trading
with Delta
day
variant over
ahead.
the near term,